I'd like to welcome all of you to our class today. The majority of class you will be working on your draft of your memoir or profile. A couple of announcements. For graduation, every department has some cords that you can deck out your graduation gown with. The English department one, most of you have done the work, so if you would like to complete an application, you'll need to do so. Get the application in the counseling center this week. Some of the main things and then return your completed application to Dr. Borup, our English department chair. You have to have maintained a 3.0 in English classes, include 4 samples of your work, which all of you have done in English 1010, and complete 2 extracurricular activities in language arts, in the language arts genre. Those options are listed on the application, along with 1 extra English class, such as creative writing, science fiction, reading, etc. So if you're interested in that, make sure you take care of that. The other thing, all the students are turning in their 2 sample layouts for today. Your notebook number 3 will be due on Wednesday, and so remember I gave you 3 options last time. I said you could do a radio script, a magazine layout, or a video. Here are 3 additional professional public service announcements that are magazine layouts, so for you to look at. So our lesson today will be 3 things: a learning log, and looking at some sample student resources in your packet, and then finally giving you time to work on your homework. So your learning log will come from Lisa Bickmore's article entitled "The Narrative Effect, Story as the Forward Frame." You can click on the link here on this slide that will take you to her article. There are 2 parts to your response. Read the response questions here on this slide and answer them on your Google document. The next thing, in your packet there is a rubric for paper number 2, your memoir or profile. Please look over it so that you know what you will be graded on. You will actually receive 2 scores on this assignment, one for the essay itself and the second one for the design that you create and put your essay into. The essay will be worth 100 points. The design will be worth 50. And so if you're thinking what's the difference between a 4, 3, 2, 1, I've included what each of those mean here. So to get a 4 in each category, it needs to be wow writing. That makes me so excited that I'm reading it, that you have done exceptional work. Proficient means you understand and you have shown evidence that you've mastered each of those components of good memoir writing. Basic means it's not quality enough for a college student, and below basic you have failed to meet the requirements or did not use those requirements in your memoir or profile. So look over that rubric in your packet before you begin your draft. The next thing we're looking at today will be 3 sample memoirs or profiles, and I picked these 3 and included them because they are all written so differently, and they are different types of the assignment. So the first one in your packet, and these are all towards the back, it's entitled "My Homeless Experience." So a student last year told about her father who's in the military at a year during their lives where they had to move to a whole bunch of different places. And so she covers it really well in that essay. You can see her reader essay, exceptionally well organized, and develops a theme so well. Those are the 2 strengths of that essay. And then you can see another version of that same essay in the design in your packet as well. The second one that I'd like you to read and look at is one that a student wrote about 4 years ago. This was at a time when I had the students do their interview before this assignment. And so she went to the road home and spent some time interacting with some of the people at the road home. And she entitled hers Humans Who Happen to Be Homeless. With this one, I forgot to put the actual MLA version in your packet, so I included the MLA version in the resource section of Canvas for today, but her design is really well done and it's in your packet. The reason I included this one, her language is so beautifully written, and it's so polished that it's ready to go into a magazine. I just love the way she wrote it. And she organizes it really well into some people that she met while playing board games with some of the people in the homeless center. The third one that I've included is a student last year who was working on her essay, and she dealt with violent crimes was her topic. And so she didn't have any personal experience with that, and she didn't really know who to interview. So I tried to give her some ideas. And one that came up for me that I knew she probably wouldn't know about was a story that took place in the late 90s. There was a little girl, and her name was Jonbenet Ramsey. She was a beautiful little girl. And on Christmas morning, she was found strangled by the family in the home. And so it launched into this high-profile case of whodunit, and whether was it the mom, was it the dad, was it the brother in the family, or was it an intruder who broke into the home. So this is an example of a student who had to do some research and learn about a story and then rewrite it in her own words for the profile. I've included both her sample, the MLA version, and her magazine layout design in your packet that you can refer to. So finally, the majority of class today will be to give students time to work on 3 things: your public service announcement, which is notebook number 3, read and respond to learning log number 7 that's included in this slide, and then begin your draft. Just some FYIs on your memoir draft. You will also receive at least an hour of time on Wednesday to work on the draft. The really good rough draft will be due on Monday for peer review, and your final draft will be uploaded into Turnitin on Wednesday of next week. The layout and design portion will be turned in on Thursday, even though we will not have class. So that's a week from Thursday. I will give you an additional day to move it into a layout design. At the beginning of class next time, I will show you how you can use a PowerPoint slide to create a double-page spread in a magazine design to eventually put your finished product into. So that's our lesson for today, a lot of lab time. And if you have any questions, just let me know. We'll see you all on Wednesday.